Okay, right. Welcome back. In our last class, we discussed the past tense. Now, moving ahead, we have the future. As we subdivided other tenses as simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. In future also, we have the four tenses, four subdivisions. We will discuss only simple future and future continuous in this session. This will be our fifth session in the study of tenses. Okay, so let us move ahead. Simple future. What is the structure of simple future? Subject plus will or shall plus first form of the verb V1. Isn't it? Okay. Future tense. Future tense shows a future time and future action. Normally speaking. But please don't forget what I told you. There lies nothing in watertight compartment so far as tense is concerned. There is so much overlapping and interaction among the tenses that is applicable for future tense also. That we will come later. Anyway, future tense usually shows a future time and future action, an action that is going to happen. Okay, right. Structure of simple future is subject plus will or shall plus V1, first form of the verb. What is the difference between will and shall? Okay. According to Old English, archaic English, traditional English, prescriptive English, we are supposed to use shall only with the first persons. First person, you know, first persons are I and it's a plural we. With I and we must use shall in order to show symbol futurity. And with the second and third persons, second person, you know, second person is you, and the third persons are he, she, it, they. So, with the second person, we will use will. With the third persons also, we will use will. This is a case with the archaic English. With the first person, we are supposed to use shall to show symbol futurity. And with the second and third person, we must use will. If we use will with the first person, what does it show? It shows the determination of the speaker. According to prescriptive English, traditional English, in normal case, we must use shall with the first person. I shall go there, we shall meet them, etc. Simple future. If we use will with the first person, it shows the determination of the speaker, the surety of the action. For example, if somebody says, I shall go there, what does it show? A casual statement only, I shall go there. If the circumstance is not favorable, I may not go also. But if somebody says, I will go there, according to traditional English, what does it show? I will go there. It shows the determination of the speaker. Even if the circumstance is not conducive, then also he will go at any cost. So, it shows the determination. I shall do it, I will do it. I shall do it. A casual remark. If the circumstance is not favorable, he may not do. But I will do it. If somebody says I will do it, at any cost I will do it. So, that's an extra force with the first person. If we use will with the first person, it shows a determination. But what happened later on? People started misusing the language. Even when there is no such surety or even when there is no such determination, people went on using will with the first person also. And now, at present, in current English, contemporary English, that difference is almost gone. I will go there, I shall go there. Meaning is more or less same. That extra force of will with the first person is almost gone now. So in short, in current English, in contemporary English, you can use either will or shall with the first person. Okay, right? Then with the second and third person, we must use will only. With the second and third person, in order to show symbol futurity, we must use will. Yeah, if we happen to use shall with the second and third person, it shows what kind of ideas? Command, promise, threat, determination, etc. etc. So, with the second and third person, if we use shall, it conveys this kind of ideas. In normal context, we must use will. He will go there, they will visit us. Normal context, we use will. But in order to convey this kind of ideas, we can use shall also with the second and third person. For example, see these sentences. If you bunk the class, you shall be punished. If you bunk the class, you shall be punished. What does it show? Threat. If he gets first class, he shall be given a prize. If he gets first class, he shall be given a prize. What is it? Promise. The truth. When you come to the parade ground, you shall polish your shoes. When you come to the parade ground, you shall polish your shoes. What is it? Command. The truth. So, in this way, in order to convey ideas like this, he will go there, or he shall go there. What is the difference? He will go there, simple futurity. He shall go there. What is it? Command. The truth. So, with the second and third person, in normal context, to show simple futurity, we use will, and in order to convey ideas like command, promise, threat, determination, etc., we can use shall. Okay, understood? This is concerned with the pattern, the structure of the tense. Okay, right? Now, let us go ahead. Let us see what kind of an action is shown by future tense. What is the time relation of this future tense? Very simple. A simple future tense shows an action that is going to happen. Okay. What does a simple future tense shows? An action or event or a process that is going to happen, that is still to happen, that is yet to happen. Right? See the sentence. They will visit us next week. When we say they will visit us next week, they already visited? No. Now they are visiting? No. They will visit. The action is going to happen. The action is yet to take place. The action is still to take place. Quite simple, isn't it? So, simple future tense simply shows an action that is going to happen. Right? Even when it shows an action that is going to happen, even in that also, this tense can convey different shades of meaning. What is it? Even when this tense simply shows an action or event that is going to happen, there also this tense can convey different shades of meaning. What are those shades of meaning this tense can convey? I will show you. I will write some examples, sentences. You carefully go through it. Okay, right? Let us go through all these sentences and find out what are the different shades of meaning this simple future tense show in each of these sentences. The same tense is used in all these sentences, isn't it? The same simple future is coming, and in all these sentences they are showing something that is going to happen. There is no doubt in that. Nevertheless, there are some differences in the shades of meaning in each of these sentences conveyed by the same simple future tense. Let us see what kind of ideas are conveyed by each of these sentences. I shall send him a telegram. We will inform them everything. I shall send him a telegram. We will inform them everything. What is the idea conveyed here? Yes, here this symbol future tense shows the intention of the speaker. What intention? The first two sentences conveys the intention of the speaker. I shall send him a telegram. So that is the speaker's intention. We will inform them everything. We will inform them everything. So what the speaker plans to do. So his intention, what is his purpose. Let us see the third and fourth sentence. I shall leave for Kolkata tomorrow. I shall leave for Kolkata tomorrow. They will buy a car next week. They will buy a car next week. What kind of an idea is conveyed by these two simple future tense? Yes, it shows a fixed plan. What a plan? Okay. Here, in these two sentences, the simple future is showing a plan that the speaker has at the back of his or her or their mind. So here the simple future shows a plan. Okay, I shall leave for Kolkata tomorrow. They will buy a car next week. That is their plan. Let us see the next two. He will pass in the exam. He will pass in the exam. When we say he will pass in the exam, does it show any plan, any intention? No. He will pass in the exam. It will rain today. He will pass in exam. It will rain today. What does it show? The assumption of the speaker. The conclusion of the speaker is thinking and coming to a conclusion. So, what does the speaker express here in these two sentences? He will pass in the exam. That is what the speaker assumes. That is what he thinks. It will rain today. So, an assumption, a conclusion is conveyed here. An assumption or conclusion of the speaker. So, see how the same simple future tense conveys different kinds of ideas. So, these two shows the assumption, that is, he will pass in the exam and it will rain today, assumption. Let us see the last one. I will do whatever I can to help you. I will do whatever I can to help you. We will get you a job soon. We will get you a job soon. She will sing a song now. I shall talk to the boss. So some people will be very nervous to speak to the boss. So somebody stands up and says, I shall speak to the boss now. What does it show? I shall speak to the boss now. His readiness, his willingness. Others are not ready, others are not willing, but this speaks. I shall talk. A sudden impulse, a sudden decision he is making, I shall speak. So, a sudden wish, willingness, readiness is conveyed here. She will sing a song now. That also, her willingness, readiness. We will get you a job soon. Don't worry, we will get you a job soon. What does it convey? A promise or an offer. A promise or an offer. So, I will do whatever I can to help you. I will do whatever I can to help you. There also, what does this sentence convey? Willingness, promise, offer, all kinds of ideas in some. All these are combined also. A different kind of ideas are combined. I will do whatever I can to help you. Your willingness is shown there. A kind of offer you are doing, and your readiness to do something. So, we cannot simply categorize. This sentence shows only this. Sometimes more than one idea gets combined in a single sentence. Understood? An element of readiness will be there, an element of offer will be there, an element of promise will be there, an element of willingness will be there, an element of readiness will be there. So all these will be coming combined. So in some of these sentences, all these ideas are coming. What are some ideas which are conveyed through these sentences? Willingness is there. Willingness, promise, okay, offer, readiness, okay, willingness, promise, offer. So, see what are the different kinds of ideas which are communicated by the same tense, that is simple future. Simple future usually shows an action that is going to happen, but the same tense can convey different shades of. Okay, now let us notice another thing. I already told you English is a very highly flexible language. You can convey the same idea in different ways. So please don't think that to speak of a future action and future time, we must always use future tense only. With the help of certain grammatical structures and with the help of present tense also, we can convey future ideas. I will show you some structures and the tenses with the help of which also we can speak of future actions. One is going to form. Going to form. Another is the use of present simple or simple present and present continuous. So, with the help of this also we can speak of future actions and we can show future time. For example, see this sentence. They will visit us. They will visit us. As you see, it is simple future. Can't you express the same idea with the help of these? Of course you can. Instead of saying they will visit us, you can say they are going to visit us. They are going to visit us. Same meaning. You can use simple present also instead of the simple future. They will visit us. They visit us. They visit us. With the help of simple present also you can speak of it. With the help of present continuous also you can express the same idea. Instead of saying they will visit us, you can say they are visiting. They are visiting us. Okay, clear? So you can express future time, future action with the help of present and with the help of going to form also. So don't think that always you must use future tense only for showing future time and future action. But there is some slight difference in meaning when we use these going to form and the simple present and present continuous etc. when we convey future. When do we use this going to form, you know? We use going to form especially when we want to convey ideas like intention, an intention or a casual plan. Not a fixed plan, a casual plan. But we use present simple, simple present and present continuous not to show any intention or casual plan, only to show a fixed plan. Only to show a fixed plan for an arrangement. Arrangement. Things are already arranged, everything is fixed. Then only we can use simple present or present continuous. When we make a casual statement, a simple and intention, we use going to form. I will tell you some example, then things will become clear to you. They are going to buy a car. They are going to buy a new car. When we say they are going to buy a new car, what does it show? Is it any fixed plan? No. They are going to buy a new car. These are intention only. What they want to do, an intention or a casual plan. You can say they are going to buy a car. But they are determined, everything they fixed, all arrangement is done, money, everything they had with them. They contacted the showroom people and fixed everything when the delivery of the car will take place. If all arrangement, everything is over, you cannot say they are going to buy a car on 15th of this month. Because 15th of this month, everything, plan, everything, arrangement, everything is over. So it is a fixed plan. Then you cannot say they are going to buy a car on 15th. You must use either simple present or present continuous. So how will you describe that? They buy a car. Not they are going to buy. They buy a car on 15th of this month, or they are buying a car. They are present continuous. They are buying a new car 15th of this month. Okay, clear? So going to form simply convey an intention or a casual plan. Whereas a present simple and a present continuous we use when we want to convey a fixed plan or an arrangement. He is going to marry her. He is going to marry her, an intention or a casual plan. But the date, everything is fixed. Then can you say he is going to marry her on 10th of June? On 10th June, he is going to marry her, or he is marrying her on 10th June. He is marrying her on 10th June, or he marries her on 10th June. Okay, because date is fixed. Okay, they are going to conduct a meeting. No problem. They are going to conduct a meeting, but the date, everything is fixed. Then can you say they are going to conduct the meeting on 10th July? No. You must say they conduct the meeting on 10th July, or they are conducting the meeting on 10th July, because it is a part of fixed plan. So that is clear to you now? Okay, right. So with the help of this also we can speak of future time and future actions, but there is some light difference. You must note that this is going to form and using simple present or present continuous for showing future action. It is somewhat informal. It is somewhat informal, and very often this expression is somewhat colloquial also. But so in a formal situation, on a formal occasion, you are not supposed to use going to form and this form for showing future time and future action. So if the context is formal, you must use only simple future only for conveying future actions and future time. I will write an example. You just go through it and tell me what will you use in that context. Okay, write a context like this. The Chief Minister dash the newly constructed court complex on 13th June 2020. Okay, suppose this is a sentence. The Chief Minister dash the newly constructed court complex on 30th June. Suppose you have to use the verb inaugurate here. I-N-A-U-G-U-R-A-T. Inaugurate. So, if you have to use the word inaugurate here, what form will you prefer? Will you use a simple future tense or going to form or these present tenses. This is a formal occasion or not. Suppose you are a press reporter, a newspaper reporter, or the editor of a newspaper, or you are a news reader. So in news reading, in newspaper, etc., you are supposed to use formal English, isn't it? Formality has to be maintained there. So this is also such a formal occasion, isn't it? The inauguration of the newly constructed building by the chief minister. It is formal context. So here, can you use going to form? Can you say the chief minister is going to inaugurate the newly constructed court complex, or the chief minister inaugurates the newly constructed court complex, or the chief minister is inaugurating the newly constructed court complex on 13th, or the chief minister will inaugurate the newly. The only possibility here is will inaugurate. The chief minister will inaugurate the newly constructed court complex on 13th June. Being a formal occasion, you are supposed to use formal English only. So this is this going to form structure, and using simple present or present continuous for showing future action. This is somewhat informal and colloquial also. So in a formal context like this, you must use simple future only. Simple future has what much dimension, much scope, much range of idea can be conveyed, isn't it? Fixed plan, intention, casual plan, willingness, readiness, assumption, many we have already discussed that. So the simple future has much wide range of ideas. Understood? So in a formal context, we must use only simple future. Otherwise, when we talk in informal context, we can use going to form and this present forms also to speak of future time and future actions. Okay, these are clear? Right. Let us go ahead. Apart from this main function, what is the first and foremost function of a simple future? To show an action that is going to happen, isn't it? First and foremost. Whatever idea it may convey, assumption, readiness, or conclusion, or willingness, or plan, everything, whatever it is, basically a simple future tense shows an action that is going to happen, an action that is still to happen, yet to happen. Other than this, one more important function is the for simple future. What is that? I will write a sentence. You find out what is the function of the simple future in that. A dog will obey its master. A dog will obey its master. What is the tense used? Simple future only. Does it show a future action and does it show future time? A dog will obey its master. Does the sentence mean to say that only in future only a dog will obey its master? Yesterday's dog did not obey the master. Today's dog also is not obeying? Yes. So here this simple future tense crosses all boundaries of time. All time limits it crosses. And here this simple future is showing all the three times, isn't it? A general fact it is conveying here. The truth. So in order to convey a general truth like this, showing all the three times, sometimes we can use a simple future. If you want, I can say another sentence. A mother will love her baby. A mother will love her baby. Even if the baby is not so beautiful, even if it is not so cute, or mothers can't help loving their babies, isn't it? So a mother will love her baby. So only in the future mothers will love. Today mothers are not loving. Yesterday they did not love. Yes. So it crosses all time limits, isn't it? If a winter goes, or when winter goes, spring will come. When winter goes, the spring will come. Do I mean to say that only in future spring will come when the winter goes? No, it happened in the past, it is happening now, in future also it is happening. So, in this way, sometimes a simple future tense shows certain general truth, things which are beyond time and space, And in such case, this tense shows it encompasses all the three types. Okay, right. So that is the second main function. So these are the two main functions of simple future. So other minor functions are there, but we are discussing only the vital roles only. So I think that is quite clear to you, etc. Now let us proceed. Okay, right. We will go to future continuous. Structure is subject plus will or shall plus be plus ing form of the verb. This is the structure with the future continuous. Very simple. Subject plus will or shall plus be plus ing form of the verb. What kind of an action or process or event is described by this tense? Future continuous. Very simple. Future continuous tense shows an action or event or a process which may continuously happen for some time in the future. Okay, once again. What does this future continuous tense show? Future continuous tense shows an action or process or event that may continuously happen for some time in the future. For some time. Time limit is there. The action or process denoted by the verb doesn't go on indefinitely. Time limit is there. Always for this continuous tense, time limit is there. If the duration of the action is considerably longer, which tense we must use? Perfect continuous. Understood? This is true with future continuous and future perfect continuous also. In all tenses, the continuous tense, the duration of the action denoted by the verb is comparatively shorter. But the duration of an action or process described through a perfect continuous tense is considerably longer. Always you must remember that. Okay. Anyway, a future continuous tense simply shows an action that may continuously happen for some time in the future. I will tell some examples, then things will become quite clear to you. When you come my home tomorrow, I shall be sleeping. I shall be sleeping. I shall be sleeping when you come my home tomorrow. When you come my home tomorrow, what shall I be doing? I shall be sleeping. When I say I shall be sleeping, what do I mean? I shall be continuously doing the action of sleeping, isn't it? That particular process of sleeping, that will go on. Will it go on indefinitely? No. When you come, after your arrival, I will wake up, isn't it? So, time limit is there. I shall be sleeping. I shall be continuously doing the action of sleeping. I shall be sleeping when you come my home tomorrow. When you get down at Chennai station, I will be waiting for you there. When you get down at Chennai station, I will be or I shall be waiting for you there. What will I be doing? What action I will be doing? The action of waiting. That process will go on continuously. Will it go on indefinitely? No. Even after your arrival also, I shall go on waiting? No. I shall be waiting for you when you get down at Chennai station. When you get down at Chennai station, I will be or I shall be waiting for you. I will be continuously doing the action of waiting. After your arrival, it will come to an end. That action or process. The truth. So, very quite simple. So, this future continuous tense shows an action or process or event that may continuously happen for some time in the future. By this time tomorrow, we shall be traveling in the train. By this time tomorrow, we shall be traveling in the train, isn't it? We will be continuously doing the action of traveling, isn't it? So it is quite simple. This is future continuous tense. Simply shows an action that may continuously happen for some time in the future. Okay, right? This is the main function. Apart from this main function, one more function. This tense has got. Let us see that also. What is the second function of future continuous? To show a planned future action. To show a planned future action. to show a planned future action, we can use either simple future or future continuous. And we can use what also? Present simple or present continuous. Okay, so this is a highly flexible language. You can convey the same idea through different means and through different tenses. Okay, so secondly, a future continuous tense shows a planned future action. See this sentence, the same sentence that we discussed. Instead of saying the Chief Minister will inaugurate the newly constructed court complex on 14th June 2020. What you can say? The Chief Minister will inaugurate the newly constructed court complex on 14th June 2020. The Chief Minister will inaugurate. Instead of saying the Chief Minister will inaugurate, what also you can say? You can use future continuous. The Chief Minister will be inaugurating. The Chief Minister will be inaugurating the newly constructed court complex. Here when we say the Chief Minister will be inaugurating, any future continuity in expression is there? No, nothing. Only a planned future action only is conveyed here. Understood? So, a planned future action also can be conveyed with the help of future continuous. You can say another thing. They are conducting the meeting. They are conducting the meeting on 10th of this month. They are conducting the meeting. With the help of present continuous tense also we can use. We can speak of future actions, isn't it? In informal context. Please remember that. So, they are conducting the meeting on 10th of this month. How can you use future continuous tense? How will you replace that present continuous with this future continuous? They are conducting the meeting on 10th of this month. They will be conducting the meeting 10th of this month. They will be conducting the meeting on 10th of this month. Understood? Okay, quite clear? So, in this way, sometimes a future continuous tense can be used to speak of a planned future action, a fixed future action. Okay, right? So, that is it. So, we have completed simple future and future continuous. Let us make a quick recap. The structure of simple future is subject plus will or shall plus first form of the verb. First and foremost, a simple future tense is used to show an action that is going to happen. Even when it shows an action that is going to happen, this tense can convey many shades of meaning. It can convey like willingness, assumption, readiness, conclusion, many things it conveys, isn't it? That we have already discussed. Then a simple future tense is sometimes used to speak of certain general truth. Like a cow will eat grass. When we say a cow will eat grass, only tomorrow's cow will eat grass? No, it's a general fact, isn't it? So in such a case, simple future tense simply goes all the boundaries of time and it shows all the three types. These are the main function of simple future and future continuous, as we discussed, mainly two functions. Future continuous tense shows an action that may happen continuously for some time in the future. An action or event that may continuously happen for some time in the future. Time limit is there. And secondly, a future continuous tense is used to speak of a planned future action. Okay? Things are quite clear to you now? Okay. So, that is it. By that, this our fifth session on tenses is coming to a conclusion. In the sixth session, last session, we will do future perfect and future perfect continuous. Okay, that is it. So I hope you enjoyed the class. If you like the class, please don't forget to click on the like icon, and if you wish to subscribe this, that also you can do. So till we meet with the future perfect and future perfect continuous. Okay, bye, take care.